You might be sitting on a gold mine without even realizing it, that old 1960 Lincoln penny with the tiny D under the date. It could be worth far more than just 1 cent, and if you're thinking about selling it, stop, because doing it the wrong way could mean leaving hundreds, or even thousands, of dollars on the table. But what if you could turn that little coin into real money, the smart way? Money that could go toward bills, retirement, or even just a little peace of mind. Stick with this video, because in the next few minutes, you're going to discover the safest, fastest, and most profitable way to sell your rare 1960 D Lincoln penny, without getting ripped off. Let's start with something you need to hear. Most people who own valuable coins never realize how much they're truly worth, until it's too late. They either give them away in bulk, trust the wrong buyer, or sell them online with zero strategy. And just like that, what could have been $500, or even $5,000, becomes pocket change. But you're here. And that tells me you're serious about doing this right. So let's break this down. First, is your 1960 D penny even rare? Here's what most people miss. There were actually two versions of the 1960 D penny, small date and large date, and here's the kicker. The small date is the one collectors are hunting for. Not sure which one you have? Here's a quick trick. Look at the number 6 in the date. That if the loop is small and level with the top of the 1 and 9, you've probably got the small date variety. That tiny detail could be the difference between a penny and a payday. But don't grab your phone just yet, because knowing what you have is only step one. The next steps, that's where the real money is made, or lost. Now, here's the trap that most people fall into. They rush to eBay. Sure, it's easy, but also dangerous, because if you don't know how to write the listing, take the right photos, or authenticate the coin properly, you're basically inviting bargain hunters to lowball you, and once it's sold, there's no going back. So what's the smarter move? Get it graded. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Is it worth paying to grade a penny? Here's the truth. If your 1960 D small date penny is in excellent condition, especially if it's uncirculated, it could be worth hundreds to the right buyer, but only if it's graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Why? Because a graded coin builds trust. Buyers don't want to guess. They want certainty. And that little plastic slab with the certified grade, that's what turns casual interest into serious offers. Still with me? Good, because now we get into the strategy that separates smart sellers from desperate ones. Timing. You wouldn't sell a house in a bad market, right? Same goes for rare coins. Prices rise and fall based on demand. So how do you know when the right time is? Here's a little known secret. Tax season, coin show weekends, and collector auctions often create spikes in buyer activity. That if you list during those windows, you'll get more eyeballs and bigger bids. But where do you sell it? Here are 3 top places that smart sellers use. 1. Online auctions, but only the right ones. Skip Craigslist. Instead, look at trusted coin auction platforms like Heritage Auctions or Great Collections. They attract serious buyers who know the value of a coin like yours. Point 2. Local coin dealers. If you do your homework, some are honest, some aren't. Always check reviews, ask how they determine value, and never agree to a price on the spot. That if they pressure you, walk away. Point 3. Facebook coin groups and collector forums. Yes, they're real, and yes, some coins have sold for more in private groups than in public listings, but you need to know how to navigate those communities, or you'll get ignored. Now here's where most people quit. They think it's too much effort, too many steps. But imagine this. You follow the right steps, grade your coin, list it where collectors are watching, and sell it for $800. That's a vacation, a car payment, groceries for a month, and all from a coin that's been sitting in a drawer for 60 years. So let me ask you this. Are you going to let that opportunity slip away? Because right now, you have a choice. You can forget everything you just learned and maybe toss that penny in a jar, or you can take a few smart steps that could seriously impact your financial life. It starts with identifying the coin, small date or large date, then grading it. Is it worth professional certification? Then selling it, at the right time, in the right place, to the right people. Simple, but powerful. And here's one last thing most people never realize. Coin values are changing right now. Collectors are aging, inventories are shifting, and certain coins, like the 1960 D small date, are climbing in value as supply tightens. So don't wait, because every day you delay is a day someone else cashes in. If you want to see a full guide on how to spot other rare pennies hiding in plain sight, check out the next video on screen now. You might be sitting on even more money than you thought, but only if you know what to look for. Right now, tucked away in a jar, drawer, or shoebox in your home, there could be a 1961 Lincoln penny with a tiny D mark under the date, and if you know how to sell it the smart way, it could bring in far more than just 1 cent. We're not talking about pocket change. We're talking about rare collectibles that have sold for hundreds, even thousands, of dollars to the right buyers. But here's the catch: most people have no idea how to cash in properly. They either settle for pennies on the dollar, or worse, they never realize the value at all, and the clock is ticking. More and more collectors are snapping these coins up, especially as demand for rare US pennies has quietly surged in recent years. So if you want to turn your old coin into real profit, maybe to pay off a credit card, help your grandkid, or finally take that vacation, this is the moment to act. But how do you do it right? What makes a 1961 D Lincoln penny worth more than just face value? And how can you avoid getting lowballed or scammed? Let's break it down, step by step. First, here's something most people don't know: not all 1961 D pennies are created equal. Yes, the D stands for Denver, where the coin was minted. And yes, over 1.7 billion were produced. But here's the twist: only a fraction of those are valuable, the rest? Just ordinary copper. So how do you know if yours is one of the rare ones? Start by grabbing a magnifying glass, look at the date and mint mark. Is the D slightly off-center? Is there doubling on the numbers? Tiny errors like that can turn a common coin into a collector's dream. This is called a variety, or error coin, and even the smallest misprint can skyrocket its value. In 2023, one 1961 D penny with a bold repunched mint mark sold for over $4,000 at auction. 1 cent, turned into $4,000. So here's the first takeaway: don't assume it's worthless just because it looks old and dirty, but that's only part of the story. Once you've identified a potentially valuable coin, don't rush to sell it just yet. This is where most people make their biggest mistake: they take it to a pawn shop or coin dealer without doing their homework. And guess what? Dealers make their money buying low and selling high. So how do you avoid getting shortchanged? You get your coin graded. Grading is a professional assessment of your coin's condition. It can make or break its value. A 1961 D penny in circulated condition might fetch a few dollars. But in mint state, with strong luster and no wear, it could sell for 100 times that. Services like PCGS or NGC are the gold standard. Yes, it costs money to grade, but in most cases, it's worth it. Grading gives you leverage. It gives buyers confidence. And it prevents those sneaky, lowball offers. So here's the second rule: never sell before you know exactly what you have. But now you're probably wondering, where do I actually sell it? What's the smartest, most profitable way? Keep watching. The next part is where everything comes together. When it comes to selling, you have 3 options, and choosing the right one can be the difference between a fair deal and a total rip-off. Option 1, online marketplaces like eBay. They offer access to thousands of collectors. But the downside? You need to know how to list your coin properly: high-resolution photos, accurate descriptions, and knowing the right keywords like RPM, repunched mint mark, or MS66 red. If you do it right, bidding wars can drive up your price. Option 2, coin auctions. Reputable sites like Heritage Auctions or Great Collection specialize in rare coins. They handle authentication, attract serious buyers, and often get higher prices than casual platforms. But here's the catch: there are fees. Still, for high-value coins, it's often worth it. And finally, option 3, private sales through coin forums or Facebook groups. This route can be fast and profitable, but risky if you don't know who you're dealing with. Always verify buyer reputations and never ship a valuable coin without insurance. So what's the best path? If your coin is graded and rare, go auction. If it's in good shape but not spectacular, try eBay. And if you're just testing the waters, explore online coin communities. But before you rush off and start selling, there's one final, and critical, step most people miss, and skipping this could cost you hundreds, maybe more. You need to understand the tax side. Yes, the IRS considers rare coin sales a capital gain. If you sell your 1961 D penny for $1,000, you might owe taxes on the profit, especially if it's considered a collectible, but here's the trick: if you keep records, grading fees, shipping, seller fees, those can reduce your taxable gain. Meaning more money stays in your pocket. That it's not just about selling smart. It's about keeping more of what you earn. This is how wealthy collectors play the game, and now, you can too. So let's recap. You've just learned how to identify rare 1961 D Lincoln pennies, avoid common seller traps, choose the right sales platform, and protect your profit, all from a coin you may have forgotten you even owned. And if you're wondering what other coins in your house could be worth hundreds or more, you're not alone. In the next video, we'll reveal the top 5 coins from the 1960s that could be hiding in plain sight, and how to spot them before it's too late. Tap subscribe so you don't miss it, because your financial future could be sitting right under your nose, literally. I'm talking about the 1962 Lincoln penny with a D mint mark. It looks ordinary, rusty, maybe even dirty, but what if I told you some of these have sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars? And the worst part: most people who own these coins never find out until it's too late, before you toss it into a Coinstar machine or sell it to a pawn shop for next to nothing. Watch this video all the way through, because over the next few minutes, you're going to learn how to identify if your coin is truly valuable, and how to sell it for the maximum possible profit, without getting ripped off. But first, why is this tiny coin from 1962 creating such a buzz? Well, here's what most people don't know: not all 1962 D pennies are the same. Some were minted with rare die varieties, some have errors, and a select few are in such pristine condition that collectors will pay top dollar just to add one to their set. One penny sold for $12,000 simply because of its mint state and a small imperfection. Now here's the kicker: those valuable ones, they often look just like the regular ones to the untrained eye. So how do you tell the difference? We'll get to that, but first, ask yourself this: what would an extra $1,000 mean to you right now? A paid-off credit card? A weekend getaway? A little breathing room? Selling coins the smart way can be your first step toward financial relief, and for some, even financial transformation. But here's the catch: most people lose out because they rush. They accept the first offer, fall for lowball tactics, or don't do the basic prep work that can double or even triple their payout. So let's break it down: the smart, step-by-step method to sell your 1962 D penny the right way. First, know exactly what you have. Pull out a magnifying glass, ideally 10x. You're looking for more than just the year and mint mark. Check for doubling, especially on the date and the word Liberty. This could be a double die, which instantly increases its value. Also, look at the condition. If your coin has no scratches, full details on Lincoln's hair and beard, and a solid, glossy surface, you might be holding what collectors call mint state. But don't guess. Take clear, well-lit photos and compare your coin to high-grade examples on trusted coin websites like PCGS or NGC. Still unsure? Hold that thought. We'll talk about how to get a professional opinion without being scammed in just a moment. Next, don't take it to just any dealer. This is where 90% of people lose out. They go to a pawn shop or a local buyer who offers them $5 and convinces them it's fair. Here's a secret: many local dealers don't specialize in pennies. They're looking to flip it fast. Instead, get multiple offers. Use online marketplaces like eBay to check recent sold listings, not just current listings. This gives you real data: what collectors are actually paying. If a coin like yours recently sold for $600, now you have leverage. But there's something even more powerful: grading. That if your coin looks uncirculated or close to it, consider submitting it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. A professionally graded coin comes with a certificate and slab. It's authenticated and valued by experts. Yes, grading costs money, but in many cases, it increases the coin's resale value by hundreds or more. Especially if it grades at MS65 or higher. Quick warning though, grading only makes sense if the coin already looks valuable. Don't waste money grading a heavily worn penny. Coming up, I'll tell you exactly what to look for before sending it in, and how to avoid common grading mistakes. Now, let's say your coin is solid, maybe even rare. What's the best way to sell? Option 1, Online Auction. Sites like eBay are great if you know how to craft a proper listing, with the right photos, keywords, and pricing strategy. But it takes time, and there's risk. Option 2, Coin shows and reputable dealers. Look for coin expos or events hosted by the American Numismatic Association. At these shows, you'll meet serious collectors and dealers who actually know what your coin is worth. But again, you need to walk in with knowledge, or someone might walk away with your money. Still with me? Because here's the part most videos don't tell you: there are quiet collectors out there, people who don't advertise, don't run shops, but are constantly looking for coins like yours. These private buyers often pay the most, but you need to know where to find them. Point 1 place. Facebook coin collecting groups. Another. Reddit communities like r/coins. These aren't just random hobbyists. Many are serious investors. Post clear photos, ask for feedback, and you might get offers straight away. Just make sure to use secure payment methods. Never ship a coin without verified funds. Now you might be wondering, is it really worth all this effort? Here's the truth: if you're holding a common, worn-out penny, it might fetch $1 or $2. But if you do the work, verify your coin, and market it right, you could walk away with hundreds. Even thousands. And that's not hype, it's happened to regular people who simply took the time to learn. But let me leave you with this: every year, thousands of valuable coins are sold for pennies. Some because the owners didn't know what they had. Others because they didn't know how to sell. Don't let that be you. Take the time, follow these steps, and you might just turn an old coin into a new beginning. If you found this helpful, don't forget to check out our video on the top 5 rare Lincoln pennies you should be looking for next, because chances are, if you have one rare penny, you might have more. And remember, it's not just spare change. It could be your opportunity. And if you're thinking, it's just an old penny, how much could it really be worth? The answer might surprise you. Some of these coins have sold for hundreds, even thousands of dollars, if you know what to look for and where to sell. But here's the problem: most people who find these rare coins end up getting scammed, or settling for far less than they're worth. In the next few minutes, you're going to learn exactly how to sell your 1964 Lincoln penny the smart way, so you walk away with the maximum profit. And no, you don't need to be a coin expert. You just need to avoid a few costly mistakes, and follow a few little-known strategies that insiders don't talk about. But first, how do you even know if your 1964 penny is worth anything? Most 1964 Lincoln pennies are only worth their face value. But a small percentage, those with rare errors, special finishes, or minting quirks, can be worth a fortune. For example, there are 1964 pennies with what's called a double die error. The date or lettering appears slightly doubled, easy to miss if you're not looking closely. Point 1 of these error coins sold for over $3,000 at auction. Just imagine finding that in your change jar. Still have your penny nearby? Good. Hold it up to the light. Look for any doubling on the date or words like Liberty and In God We Trust. If you see anything unusual, don't clean it. That's important. We'll get to why in a moment, but what if it looks normal? Should you still try to sell it? Here's the kicker: even uncirculated 1964 pennies in pristine condition can be valuable. Collectors often pay premiums for high-grade examples with full original luster, and that brings us to a critical point: condition is everything. Before you sell anything, your coin needs to be accurately graded. That one decision, getting your coin professionally graded, can mean the difference between getting $5 and getting $500. So how do you do that? This is where most people get it wrong. They either try to grade it themselves, or they send it to just any grading service. You want to use one of the two trusted giants in the industry, PCGS or NGC. These are the only grading companies that serious buyers truly trust. Coins graded by them often sell for far more, even if the coin is identical to one that isn't graded, but grading costs money. Is it worth it? Here's a simple rule: if your coin shows any sign of error, or looks like it's in extremely good shape, little to no wear, strong shine, then yes, it's absolutely worth submitting for grading, and don't worry. You can send coins directly yourself. Both PCGS and NGC have simple instructions on their websites, and it costs around $20 to $30 per coin. Now, once your coin is graded, where do you sell it? This is where many people make the biggest mistake, selling to the first buyer who makes an offer. Pawn shops, online marketplaces, even local dealers often lowball sellers, especially if they think you don't know the true value. Instead, here are 3 smarter options that often lead to much higher payouts. First, try eBay, but only after your coin is graded. Look at the sold listings to price it right. A properly listed PCGS or NGC coin can draw in competitive bids and sell for top dollar. Second, consider great collections or heritage auctions. These are trusted platforms specifically for coins, with huge audiences of serious collectors. They handle everything: photos, listings, even shipping. Third, join online coin collector forums like CoinTalk or Reddit's r/coins. Many members there are willing to buy directly, and they often pay more because they understand the value. Plus, they can give you honest feedback before you sell, but here's the part most people never hear: timing matters. Right now, rare coin prices are climbing again, fueled by economic uncertainty and rising demand from collectors and investors alike. That 1964 penny could be worth more today than it was 6 months ago, and less 6 months from now. So if you're holding on to one, now might be the smartest time to act. Still not sure if your coin is valuable? Here's a quick checklist. It has a clear mint mark below the date. The surface is shiny, with little to no wear. You spot doubling on the date or letters. There's something unusual, an odd mark, off-center strike, or extra thickness. If you checked any of those boxes, don't clean it, don't sell it to just anyone, and don't rush. You might have a hidden gem, and even if your coin turns out to be common, this process can help you unlock real value from other coins you may have without realizing it, because here's the truth: there are millions of dollars in forgotten change sitting in American homes right now. And with just a little knowledge, you can turn dusty old pennies into real, meaningful cash, whether it's paying off a credit card, building an emergency fund, or just taking a well-deserved weekend getaway. You deserve to make the most from what you already own. So, check your change jar, look through that old collection, and don't assume it's just pocket change. The smartest coin sellers are the ones who educate themselves before they sell. You're now one of them. If you found this helpful, stick around. Next, we'll uncover the top 5 rare US coins hiding in plain sight, and how one man turned a nickel into $10,000. Don't miss it. You might be sitting on a goldmine without even realizing it. That dusty old penny in your kitchen drawer, the one from 1965 with no mint mark, could be worth far more than just 1 cent. But here's the thing: most people who own these coins either undervalue them, or worse, they sell them the wrong way and leave thousands of dollars on the table. And if you're watching this right now, chances are you or someone you know owns one of these coins. So before you hand it off to a pawn shop or drop it into a Coinstar machine, watch this video to the end. Because we're about to walk you through the smartest, most profitable way to sell your rare Lincoln penny, and potentially change your financial future. So, how do you know if your 1965 penny is actually worth something? Let's start there. In 1965, the US Mint was phasing out silver coins due to rising metal prices, but what many people don't know is that during this chaotic period, a handful of unusual coins were mistakenly struck using older dies, planchets, and in rare cases, experimental metal compositions. While the standard 1965 Lincoln penny was struck in copper and had no mint mark, certain varieties show striking errors, double dies, and unique surface characteristics that can make them highly desirable to collectors. Here's the twist: they look almost identical to regular pennies, and millions of people have unknowingly spent them. So how do you tell if you're holding one of the rare ones? Grab a magnifying glass. Look closely at the lettering, especially "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." If you notice any doubling in the letters or a bold, slightly off-center strike, you may have a double die error. That alone can raise the value by hundreds, or even thousands, depending on the condition, but that's just scratching the surface. Next, flip the coin over and check the Lincoln Memorial. Any signs of doubling there? Pay special attention to the columns and the steps. collectors go crazy for clean, visible details. If the coin shows even, sharp details and minimal wear, you may be holding something far more valuable than a penny. Now here's a mistake 90% of people make: they rush to sell it to the first coin dealer they find. Don't do that. Before you even think of selling your 1965 penny, get it graded. A certified grading from PCGS or NGC not only authenticates your coin but drastically increases its value in the eyes of serious buyers. A graded, mint state, 1965 penny with a rare die error can fetch over $2,000 at auction, sometimes more. Now you might be thinking, isn't getting a coin graded expensive? That's the next trap that it can be, but only if you do it wrong. Here's the trick: look for coin shows in your area where grading services are on site. Many offer walk-through grading at reduced costs. Or, if you have several coins to sell, bundle them together to get a discounted rate when mailing them in. Never, ever send in a valuable coin without tracking and insurance. These are once-in-a-lifetime assets, you have to treat them that way. Still with me? Good. Because now we're going into the strategies the pros use to sell these coins for maximum profit. Once your coin is graded and authenticated, don't list it on eBay just yet. While eBay can be powerful, it's full of buyers trying to underbid or scam sellers who don't know what they're doing. Instead, list your coin on specialized platforms like Great Collections or Heritage Auctions. These marketplaces are trusted by high-end collectors and have a built-in audience of buyers ready to pay top dollar. And here's the secret sauce: include a compelling story with your listing. Mention where the coin was found. Was it inherited? Discovered in a family savings jar? Buyers are emotional, and the story behind a coin can boost the perceived value. Think about it: would you rather buy a coin that came from an old desk drawer, or one that was passed down through a Vietnam veteran's war chest? But don't stop there, photos are everything. Use a macro lens or take your coin to a professional photographer who specializes in numismatics. A crystal clear image showing detail, luster, and toning can often make the difference between a $50 sale and a $5,000 bidding war. Now here's something nobody talks about: timing. Coin values fluctuate throughout the year based on collector demand, economic shifts, and auction cycles. The months leading into fall, August through October, are peak season for coin sales. That's when collectors are active, auction houses are competitive, and tax refund money has mostly settled. If you list during this window, you give yourself a massive advantage, but if you're serious about cashing in, you can't afford to delay. The more people learn about these coins, the more the market floods. Every week, another person wakes up, finds their old penny, and lists it online. Supply is rising, and when that happens, prices drop. Your rare 1965 penny might be worth thousands today, but a year from now, it could be just another collectible with a mediocre price tag. So what do you do next? Here's your action plan: inspect your 1965 penny carefully, look for doubling, off-center strikes, and clear detail. Get it graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. Do not skip this step, list it wisely, avoid general platforms unless you're experienced. Use niche auction sites that cater to serious collectors. Craft a powerful listing, include the story, stunning photos, and your certification info. Time your sale, don't wait. The optimal window is now. Still unsure if your coin is the real deal? Reach out to local coin clubs or post in numismatic forums. You'd be amazed how many experts are willing to offer free guidance. Just don't keep it in a drawer hoping for the best. That's how people miss out on thousands of dollars. Remember, some people retire early because they made smart decisions like this. Others let fortune slip through their fingers. Which one will you be? If this video helped open your eyes to the real value of your coins, don't forget to subscribe. We've got more insider secrets coming that could help you turn forgotten change into serious money, because sometimes, the biggest opportunities are hiding in the smallest places. That old 1967 Lincoln penny in your drawer, the one with no mint mark, it might be worth far more than just 1 cent. If you know what to do next. Thousands of Americans are unknowingly holding on to valuable coins, thinking they're just pocket change. But there's a window of opportunity right now, and if you wait too long, you could miss your chance to cash in. Here's the truth: not every 1967 penny is worth money, but some of them are worth hundreds, even thousands, and what separates the junk drawer coins from the jackpot isn't luck, it's knowledge. Most people never find out until it's too late. So how do you know if your penny is special? First, let's understand what makes this specific coin, the 1967 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, so interesting that in 1967, the U.S. Mint removed all mint marks from coins as part of an effort to discourage coin hoarding. That means every penny from that year was made without one. At first glance, this might sound like bad news. If they all lack a mint mark, doesn't that make them common? Yes, and no. Here's the twist most people miss: while mint marks were removed, errors and rare variations still slipped through, and that's where the real money is hiding. For example, some 1967 Lincoln cents were struck using worn dies, creating a ghostly doubling effect known as die doubling, a subtle but extremely valuable flaw. Others have off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or were mistakenly made with the wrong metal composition. These kinds of mistakes turn ordinary coins into collectibles. But you have to know what to look for. Here's what you need to do before you even think about selling: pull out your coin. Look closely at the date, the edges, and Abraham Lincoln's profile. Use a magnifying glass or your phone's zoom. You're hunting for signs like unusual thickness, doubling on the letters or date, off-center images, clipped or misshaped edges, and here's something most people never think to check: the weight. A standard 1967 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. If yours is significantly off, either lighter or heavier, it could indicate a rare planchet error. Some of these have sold for hundreds on the collector's market. Still with me? Good, because now we're getting into the part that trips most people up: how to sell it smart. This is where emotions can cost you money. You might be tempted to run to a pawn shop or post your coin on eBay the moment you realize it could be valuable. Don't. Here's why: pawn shops and casual buyers prey on urgency. They'll offer you pennies on the dollar, sometimes literally, because they know you don't know better, but now you do. To get top dollar, you need three things: verification, exposure, and negotiation. First, verification: get your coin authenticated and graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. Yes, it costs a little upfront. But a certified coin can fetch 2x, 5x, even 10x more than an ungraded one. It's like selling a car with the title versus one without. Collectors pay more for certainty. Next, exposure: selling to the right audience makes all the difference. Post your coin on platforms like Great Collections, Heritage Auctions, or Collector's Corner, not just generic places like Craigslist. These platforms attract serious buyers, not bargain hunters. And here's a pro tip: include high-quality close-up photos and a clear, honest description of your coin. What metal is it? Any known errors? Is it graded? The more confidence you give buyers, the more they'll pay. Lastly, negotiation. Don't just accept the first offer. Set a minimum price based on real data, not guesses. You can research past auction results on sites like PCGS Price Guide or Heritage's archives. Know your coin's potential before you list. Now, here's where most people drop the ball: they think once it's listed, the job's done. But the smartest sellers stay involved. They answer buyer questions. They watch the bidding. They relist or adjust if needed. In short, they treat it like a mini business, because for many, it is. One viewer who followed this exact approach emailed us last month. He sold a 1967 penny with a dramatic strike error for $840, more than his weekly paycheck that he said it paid for a car repair that had been stressing him out for weeks, and he almost gave it away for $1. How many others are unknowingly giving away small fortunes just like that? Let's recap the smartest, most profitable way to sell your 1967 no mint mark penny. Inspect it carefully for rare features, errors, weight, striking anomalies, authenticate and grade it through a trusted service. List it where collectors go, not where casual buyers lowball. Price it wisely, based on real market data. Stay active in the selling process. Communicate, relist, optimize. Don't be the person who finds out too late that they sold a rare coin for lunch money, because once it's gone, it's gone. Now, if you're wondering how to actually spot those coin errors with your own eyes, or which types of Lincoln pennies from other years are secretly even more valuable, stick around. Our next video dives into the top 5 error coins hiding in plain sight, including one that sold for over $35,000. Don't miss it, your financial future could be hiding in a jar of pennies. Let's go find it. So before you let it go for pennies, literally, watch this video to the end. Because in the next 10 minutes, you're going to learn exactly how to sell your rare 1968 Lincoln penny in the smartest, safest, and most profitable way possible. But first, let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked that jar of old coins in your kitchen, or the small box you inherited from a parent or grandparent? That 1968 penny could be hiding there right now. And you wouldn't be alone. Many Americans have rare coins sitting in plain sight, worth more than some people's entire monthly paycheck. Now, why is the 1968 Lincoln penny so valuable? Let's break it down. In 1968, the U.S. Mint produced these pennies in San Francisco, hence the S Mint mark. While most were mass-produced and worth face value today, a small number were minted with a nearly perfect die, sharp details, and minimal circulation. Combine that with coin collectors' obsession with Lincoln cents, and you've got the perfect recipe for value. But here's the twist: the real money is in the condition, and the grade, and this is where 90% of sellers make their first big mistake. They sell their coin without knowing its true grade, or worse, they take it to a local pawn shop or casual buyer who pays them a fraction of its actual worth. Imagine giving away a $1,200 coin for $5. It happens every single day. So how do you avoid that fate? Here's what you need to do. Step 1. Get your coin professionally graded. This is non-negotiable. If your 1968 penny is in great condition, what collectors call red or red-brown, with minimal wear, it needs to be evaluated by a third-party service like PCGS or NGC. These are the gold standards in coin grading. You simply submit your coin by mail or through a local coin dealer who partners with them. Once graded, your penny will be assigned a number from 1 to 70. A 68 or 69 grade. You're looking at serious value. But wait, what if your coin isn't in perfect condition? Don't count it out yet. Even circulated coins with that S Mint mark can bring in money, especially if they have errors. Here's a secret many collectors don't know: some 1968 pennies were struck with double dies or have slight misalignments that make them highly desirable. You wouldn't even notice unless you knew what to look for, like a subtle doubling of the date or letters. These rare error coins can fetch hundreds more than their perfect counterparts. So don't just look at condition. Look for character. Now that you've graded your coin, or spotted a rare error, what next? Step 2, skip the pawn shop. Skip eBay. For now, selling directly to collectors is where the real profit lies. But you need to do it smartly. Here's how. Start by joining online coin communities. Places like CoinTalk, the PCGS forums, or even private Facebook groups for numismatists. Post clear, high-resolution photos of your graded coin. Show both sides. Include the certification number. Be upfront, and don't fall for lowball offers. Still unsure about pricing? Use sites like Heritage Auctions or Great Collections to see recent sales of coins just like yours. Not listed prices, actual sales. This is where most people miss out. They ask too little, or too much. Knowing the real market value gives you an edge. Now here's the part most sellers never think about: timing. Coin values fluctuate, just like any other market. Selling when demand is high, during collector conventions, economic downturns when people turn to hard assets, or just before the holidays, can boost your final sale price by hundreds. But maybe you're thinking, this sounds like too much work. I just want quick cash. That's fair. But let me ask you, would you rather make $50 today, or $500 in 2 weeks? Let that sink in. If you're still watching, it means you're serious about getting the most from your coin. So here's the final step that can really set you apart. Step 3, present it like a pro. Yes, presentation matters, even for coins. Use a professional, clear plastic holder or slab. Clean your photo background. Mention any interesting history or family story tied to the coin if there is one. Buyers aren't just paying for metal, they're buying a piece of American history, and if you want to go next level, consider consigning your coin to a specialty coin auction. These attract high-end collectors with deep pockets. Your humble penny could be the star of the show, and you'll get the exposure you need to drive top dollar bids. Here's the bottom line, that 1968's penny might not change your life, but selling it the right way could mean paying off a credit card, covering a car repair, or just breathing easier this month. And for some, it could be the start of a whole new side hustle in rare coin trading. That you've spent years holding on to this coin. Don't throw away your reward in 5 careless minutes. And here's the final cliffhanger: what if I told you there's another coin from the exact same era that's even more valuable, and just as common? We'll break that one down in our next video. So if you're serious about unlocking the hidden value in your old change, make sure you're subscribed. Because what's sitting in your drawer right now could be the key to your next financial breakthrough. Most people get this part wrong. They either sell too quickly, or to the wrong person, or without knowing what they really have. And by the time they realize it, the opportunity is gone forever. Let's make sure that's not you. So first, let's talk about what makes the 1969 Lincoln penny so special, and why collectors are chasing after it like it's buried treasure. Most pennies are worth a penny. But this one, it can be worth far more, depending on a few key details. Some you can spot with your naked eye, others that only experts know to look for. One variation, just one, of this coin has sold for over $35,000 at auction. And yes, it looks almost identical to the one sitting in millions of households across America. So how do you know if yours is the one? Take a deep breath and listen carefully. Start by checking the date, 1969. Look for the small d under the year. That stands for the Denver Mint. Now here's where things get interesting. Certain 1969 D pennies were struck with what's called a double die, a rare minting error where parts of the design, especially the letters in Liberty and In God We Trust, appear slightly doubled. It's subtle, but powerful. That one feature could be the difference between 1 cent and 5 figures. You might be wondering, how can I even tell if I have a double die? Good question. Point 1 trick. Hold it under a bright light and use a magnifying glass. Look closely at the lettering. If it looks blurry or doubled, don't clean the coin. Whatever you do, never clean it, and don't rush to sell it just yet. Because here's the thing, the second mistake most people make is selling it to the wrong person. Pawn shops, flea markets, or casual online sellers will almost always underpay. Why? Because they're not in the business of giving you top dollar. They're in the business of turning your coin into their profit, but you're smarter than that. And now you're going to sell it like a pro. Let me show you exactly how. Step 1, get it professionally appraised. Not by a pawn shop. Not by someone on Facebook Marketplace. Go to a certified coin grading service, like PCGS or NGC. They'll verify your coin, grade it, and certify its condition. This is your golden ticket to serious buyers, but here's something most people don't realize: the presentation of your coin can change everything. A coin in a protective holder with a verified grade can sell for 5 to 10 times more than one without. The difference? Trust. Buyers need to trust what they're paying for. And certification removes doubt. Step 2, list your coin where serious collectors shop. Think eBay, but not just any listing. Use high-quality photos, include the grading certificate, and start with a reasonable price. Too high and you scare buyers off. Too low and you're leaving money on the table. And here's a little-known secret: timing matters. Coins tend to fetch higher prices in late fall and early winter, when collectors are most active. Why? End-of-year auctions and tax planning. More demand means more competition, and more profit for you. But before you rush off to list your coin, there's something else you need to know. Because even if your 1969 D penny isn't a double die, it could still be worth more than face value, way more, due to copper content, circulation status, and historical interest. And if you've got a box of old coins lying around, you could be sitting on a hidden fortune. Pennies minted before 1982 are 95% copper, and their metal content alone is worth nearly 3x face value. That's not even factoring in rarity or condition. This is more than just a side hustle. For many people, selling old coins is a way out of debt. A way to build a little cushion. A step toward a better financial future. So ask yourself, how long have those coins been sitting in your drawer? And how much longer are you going to wait to do something about them, because every day you wait, someone else is cashing in, still here. Good. Because here's your next move, the one that separates the people who think about doing something, from the people who actually profit. Take 5 minutes, right after this video, and go check your coins. Look for the 1969 penny with the D mark. Grab a magnifier, inspect the lettering, and set aside anything that looks promising. Then, find a local coin dealer with a strong reputation, or better yet, submit your coin to a grading service. It's easier than you think, and it could be the most valuable hour you've spent all year. This isn't just about coins. It's about seeing value where others don't. About being smarter with what you already have. And about not letting opportunity pass you by just because it looked too small. That little penny could be your turning point. But only if you act on it. So, what's sitting in your pocket right now? The difference between 1 cent and $10,000 could be your next step. Don't miss it.